and then there's 16,000 screaming girls on top of it.
Yeah. 16,000 screaming girls is part of the gig.
I don't think you can fight them. I've come across this thing before, and I thought, I could turn this up and probably get over them, but then we're sort of defeating the purpose of trying to create a nice sound here. So I'm going to let them scream, and then when they want to hear something, they'll just shut up and listen. And that, I'm kind of brave for just shh. Okay, now you're listening. Okay.
Okay. Well, that's one way to look at it. I think that's a great way.
Relatively, that's still hearing intact. Yeah.
Well, you know what? As long as we're talking about that, I mean, that's something that we have covered pretty extensively. Is the whole volume thing and how loud is too loud. What do you think is an appropriate level? To me, and this is my just a personal thing, it is way harder to mix a softer show with impact than it is to just bring it all up and kind of pummel people.
Mixing a quieter show definitely is more challenging, and I think certainly for me more fulfilling. It is easy to turn it up and pummel, but then I don't. That's not what I enjoy doing. And as I said, the audience. You can't do. And we were at 109 with the audience peaking.
Right.
That's the audience. And if we could ever find a piece of equipment that could measure this accurately, but what was available to us, I'm running my show. We're at 102 musically, peaking 102.
Okay.
And there's that huge leap to that audience screaming. I think 102 was probably just a hair too loud. But, around 100, 101 is, that's why I used to mix Aerosmith, that 100, 101.
And people would think that they're a much louder band than that.
Yeah, but you give the impression, for me, I give the impression of the volume in other ways other than volume.
Right, and to me, that's the challenge, is giving the impression of it without it actually being there.
And being very careful to, when a recording engineer records a record, right, that master mix he's done then goes to a mastering engineer. That mastering engineer adjusts the treble, middle, and bass to get those ratios right to then put it up on a CD, so it comes across on the radio. I think what a lot of live engineers forget to do is that final treble, middle, and bass balance. Their mix might be fantastic. It could be just that maybe it's a little harsh in that 2K area. They just got rid of that. My God, you can turn the whole thing up, and it's still pleasurable to listen to. I think that's where people don't take a step back and actually listen to what's going on. Their mix can be fantastic, but it's just that final mastering thing that I think people tend to
That's
forget.
really interesting.
And they might leave it up to the system engineer, but the system engineer is thinking, oh, he's in a groove, I'm not going to touch a thing.
Right.
So thinking about that can bring your volume down and make it punchy and the impression of it can give you the impression of volume, but still sound really nice and sweet and fat in the right places and not too harsh.
Okay.
And that harshness for me is what I try and take out. I can't bear it.
Yeah, neither can I.